What's up, y'all? You're watching Union Minded. I'm your host, Eric, and today we're going to talk about healthcare in my union. Why? Because it's a hot topic and everybody's talking about it. So healthcare in my union, where do we even get healthcare, and why is it even something we're talking about? Healthcare comes from our contract because we negotiated that the employer shall pay money towards our electrical welfare trust fund, and that will be used for our health care. It's right here in your inside wireman agreement, Article 8, Electrical Welfare Trust Fund. Now this is Section 8.01 of Local 26's inside wireman agreement. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Contributions to the Welfare Trust Fund. The individual employer shall contribute and forward monthly to the Electrical Welfare Trust Fund an amount equal to $7.99 per hour for each hour worked, which the employer is obligated to pay on behalf of employees in this bargaining unit. And it shall forward a completed payroll report as prescribed by the trustees of said fund. The contribution shall increase as follows. On June 5th of 2023, that money will go up 1 penny to $8 solid an hour. The payment and payroll report shall be mailed postage prepaid so as to reach the trustees or their designated agent not later than 30 calendar days following the end of each calendar month. Sanctions and enforcement provisions for failure to remit payments to this fund are set forth in Article 13 of this agreement. I was going to say Article 8 because Roman numerals throw you sometimes, but it's Article 13. And or in the trust fund agreement, and or in the benefit funds agreement. It is the intention of the parties that 5 cents of the benefit contribution shall be used to purchase work-related accident insurance. So now, we know that for every hour that we work as members, they pay $8 an hour towards our electrical welfare trust fund. And the trustees have to get a report every month on how many hours are worked. And it says if they screw up, you go to Article 13 for enforcement. So let's see what that looks like. Failure to make benefit payments. Failure. This is for payments to any of the funds. Welfare, pension, apprenticeship, training, industry, annuity, NEBF, NLM, CF, all of it. The payments are to be made on a monthly basis and payable no later than 30 days after the end of the month for which accrued as provided in Articles 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13, and 19. Individual employers who fail to remit as provided above shall be additionally subject to having this agreement terminated upon 72 hours notice in writing being served by the union, provided the individual employer fails to show satisfactory proof that the required payments have been paid to the local funds as described above. Now, the questions and comments that I saw in the last couple of days was around a change in policy. And it seems like the change has caused customer service to kind of take a little bit of a dive. At least that's the sentiment that I'm seeing out there. Me personally, I did get turned away from a lab who said they don't deal with UMR, and I had to go to LabCorp. That was the first time since I've been a member of my IBEW Local 26 family that I got turned away from the lab. But that's not saying much. You know, I'm not the picture of health. I don't run to the doctor, every time I feel ill. So I'm not a good example. But being that the questions were going around, I figured, let me see where we can find some answers. And so I went to my inside wireman agreement and I saw the EWTF, the fund, and I saw that there is language for how much is supposed to be paid, and there is language for if you don't pay, but there wasn't any language really on decision making and how it goes. So we have to imagine that the trustees are entrusted to make these decisions, but who are the trustees? How do they get there? Well, I'll go to the back of my contract and I see that we have a list of trustees and committees. And when you look at the health and welfare fund, you have the business manager, the president, and this is an old printout, so we have the former financial secretary written in this document, but the former business manager retired, so George Hogan is no longer on this fund, I don't think. But it should be business manager Joe Dabbs, president Tom Myers, and whoever the third person is. On the management side, you have a representative from Specified Electrical Systems, Dyna Electric Company, and Mona Electric Group on the NECA side. So you have 3 from IBEW, 3 from NECA, and they sit on this fund as trustees. So they make decisions. Now, I kept on digging because I was like, well, what designates these folks as members of this trusteeship? Now, on the NECA side, we can't control that. That's NECA. But on the IBEW side, we look to our Constitution. Now, this is the old copy because I still haven't gotten the new one. But this is the old copy, and things don't change that much when it comes to officers. And when you look at the description of the business manager, it says right here in the description, the business manager or his designee shall serve as a permanent member of the negotiating committee and serve as a trustee on all trust funds of the local union provided for in the collective bargaining agreements. So the business manager decides who gets on that trusteeship. Now, in the Constitution, when you don't have a business manager, the president is also your business manager, and that places the president / business manager also on the trust funds, as a trustee on all the funds. So that would mean you got your business manager and your president. And then whoever the business manager deems, makes sense that it would be the financial secretary. That's who is on your trust fund making decisions on our behalf. And I think they do as good a job as they can with managing these funds and making sure that we're getting the most out of it. We're not going to always agree with every decision that is made, but you got to also keep in mind that it isn't just the IBEW officers making the decisions. You got NECA input as well. And Lord knows how NECA thinks of the fund, and if, customer care or customer service is high on their priority list. I don't know. But I will tell you that we do have pretty good insurance. I will tell you to go to umr.com if you are a Local 26 member. Click on their membership tab, and it's a lot of resources right online. Find a provider. If you have surprise billing, you got questions, you need answers, there's tabs for that. There's a health education library. And as you scroll down to the bottom of UMR's page, it says, UMR is a third-party administrator hired by your employer to help ensure that your claims are paid correctly, so that your healthcare costs can be kept to a minimum and you can focus on well-being. UMR is not an insurance company. Your employer pays the portion of your healthcare cost not paid by you. UMR is a United Healthcare company. So they're a third party meant to just manage the billing. Okay, that's what UMR is all about. Managing the billing so that you can focus on wellness. But I advise you and strongly suggest to you that you jump on UMR's website, run through their tabs, and take a look at what's what. You can also go to EWTF.org, and you can look at the healthcare plan, the pension plan, the annuity plan. You can look at the resources. They got disclosure documents here where you can click on the reports, quarterly reports, all the way back until April 2021, and read about your coverage changes and how things have happened along the way. All of this stuff is reported quarterly. But if we don't dig for the answers, it'll always come as a surprise when things change. And the only way to not get surprised is to stay on top of things. How do you stay on top of things? You go to the meetings and you stay involved. That's why I always tell you guys, an engaged membership makes for a strong local. If you're not engaged, you're constantly going to get caught off guard by changes in policy and changes in the way things are done. At least if you are involved, you won't be caught off guard. You know what I'm saying? You'll at least know it's coming and can prepare for that. We got to stop reacting to life. We got to start planning our lives. All right? My name's Eric. You're watching Union Minded. And remember, the fight's not left and right. It's up and down. It's going to take solidarity to win always. Each one, teach one, get out there and reach one. And there could be no union without you and I, front and center. Let's go.